accompanied by melodious music. The poor scholar, played by Leslie Shung, makes his entrance. But he is not heading to the capital for the imperial exam. Instead, he is going to Guobei County to collect debts. Strangely, upon arriving in this area, not only does the compass stop working, one moment the sun is blazing overhead. The next moment, a torrential rain pours down. Finally finding a place to take shelter from the rain, he suddenly encounters a swordsman chasing a thief. Even though the thief kneels and begs for mercy, returning the stolen goods, he is still mercilessly killed by the swordsman. Ning Kaiyan, splattered with blood on his face, quickly gives up his spot for shelter. Fortunately, the swordsman only despises evil and does not harm the innocent Ning, but as soon as he enters Guobei County, Ning Kaishin not only encounters the ghost festival, but is also mistaken for a wanted criminal, pressed against a board covered with talismans for inspection. Luckily, it's just a false alarm. But as he walks away, he is stopped by a vendor selling talismans. Although the talisman on his clothes is taken away, it leaves behind a red ink mark, and Ning Gaishin naturally doesn't realize that this will save his life. After all, his only focus now is collecting debts. Finally finding the debtor, he discovers that his ledger has been soaked by the rain, and all the writing inside is completely ruined. Without proof, Ning Kaishin is mistaken for a fraud and driven out, penniless as he is. For training, he can only inquire about places to stay for free, and is told about Lan Ruo Temple. As he prepares to head there, unaware of what awaits, painting of a beautiful woman washing her hair instantly captivates Ning Kaishin. But as soon as he says this, the talisman vendor comes to measure his height, saying he also makes coffins, which might come in handy in a few days. As Ning Kaishin feels puzzled, he finally reaches Lan Ruo Temple before nightfall, but suddenly a fierce wind begins to blow, and just as he starts to feel scared, he encounters the swordsman from earlier, fighting a man with a full beard. After 2.5 rounds, the swordsman is ultimately defeated. For the title of the world's greatest swordsman, he has been challenging Yanchisha for 7 years, but loses every time. Caught between the two, Ning Kaishan quickly urges them to put down their swords. After all, this is a world of love. They shouldn't kill each other. With an excuse to back down, the swordsman takes the chance to leave. Hearing that Ning Kaishan is there to stay, Nine only says it's inconvenient, but also bluntly warns him of ghosts to scare him away. Thinking of the wolf howls he heard in the forest, he still sneaks into Lan Ruo Temple to stay. How could Ning Kaishin know at this moment? A long-haired female ghost in white, eyes secretly watching him, and the attic of the room he's in, eyes filled with dried corpses drained of their yang energy. Sensing human presence, they suddenly awaken. In an instant, the female ghost appears in the river. Her drenched appearance instantly lures the swordsman treating his wounds. He immediately embraces her. But the female ghost's eyes suddenly change. For training, she lifts her leg, ringing the bell on her ankle, and quickly flees. Sensing danger, the swordsman tries to draw his sword. For training, but something unknown suddenly enters his throat, instantly draining his yang energy, turning him into a withered corpse. Meanwhile, Ning Kaishin at Lan Ruo Temple notices movement in the attic. As he prepares to climb up and check, he is suddenly drawn by a song, and follows the sound with a knife in hand. At the pavilion in the lake, girl in white plays the zither, but as Ning Kaishin arrives, her zither string suddenly breaks. Ning Kaishin realizes the knife in his hand scared her. In a panic, he throws the knife away. Senka last turn and retrieve the knife, but the talisman mark on his back makes the girl in white keep her distance. She then uses magic to make her veil float away, and Ning Kaishin, chasing after it, accidentally falls into the river. The talisman mark on his clothes washes away. Watching him struggle in the water, the girl in white extends her delicate foot and saves him. But at this moment, Ning Kaishin realizes her hand is not only colder than the river water, but she suddenly throws herself into his arms. Seeing that Ning Kaishin is different from other men and doesn't fall for her charms, she uses magic to knock him out. Fortunately, Yanchisha arrives in time, forcing the female ghost to throw Ning into the river and flee. But foolishly, he chases after her with the zither she left behind. In this chase and escape, Ning Kaishin suddenly trips and accidentally falls on the female ghost. As he struggles to explain, a venomous snake breaks the awkwardness, and he instinctively pulls her into his arms. But the timid Ning Kaishin couldn't possibly handle a snake. The female ghost quickly uses magic to knock it out, originally to deceive him. She says the bearded man at Lan Ruo Temple is dangerous, and discovery would mean death. But unexpectedly, Ning Kaishin steps up, saying he'll distract the bearded man so she can escape. The female ghost didn't expect this timid man would risk himself to save her. After making a promise with Ni Xiaoqian, Ning Kaiyan goes to distract Yan Qixia, and to thank him, she writes on a silk scarf that he is a good person and to never come looking for her. But Ning Kashin accidentally loses the scarf. Returning to Lanruo Temple, the bearded Yan Qixia suddenly shows up, saying there really are ghosts and urging him to leave, or he won't be polite. But Ning Aishin doesn't believe him, nor does he understand that Yan Qixia is trying to save his life. However, with his ledger destroyed and unable to collect money, how can he leave? So he fills in the ledger himself. Returning to Guobei County, Ning Kaishen hears that he stayed at Lanruo Temple, and people cast strange looks at him, even the debtor who owed money stands over the money written in the new ledger. But as he prepares to leave, preening the sky suddenly darkens, and a funeral procession appears on the street. Among the crowd, Ning Kaiyan sees Ni Xiaoqian, but no matter how he calls out to her, she never responds, so he takes the money he collected to buy the painting of the woman washing her hair. This time, the vendor sees the silver in Ning Kaishen's hand and becomes instantly enthusiastic. But no matter how the vendor searches, the painting mysteriously disappears. To keep his promise with Xiaoqian at Lanruo Temple, Ning Kaiyan deliberately buys 3 lanterns, and to boost his courage, he recites poetry while running. How could he know at this moment the pavilion in the lake where he first met Xiaoqian has already been rigged with a trap by the tree demon? Seeing Ning Kaishen in danger, Xiaoqian uses her zither to lead him away, but unknowingly leads him into greater danger. It turns out Ning Kaishen followed the sound to bid farewell to Xiaoqian, but at that moment the tree demon Granny arrives to hide his human presence. She has no choice but to hide him in a bathtub. At this moment, Ning Kaishen realizes the painting of the woman washing her hair is here. Then Granny, holding the lost silk scarf, confronts Xiaoqian with accusations, immediately blaming her for hiding a man, saying if she disobeys again, she will destroy all her ashes, making her vanish forever. And to increase her lifespan, Granny not only orders Xiaoqian to find a living victim that night, but also betroths her to the Black Mountain demon of the underworld, and the marriage will take place in 3 days. But if that happens, Xiaoqian will never have a chance to reincarnate. But to protect the hidden Ning Kaishen, she can only comply and try on the wedding dress. But when he pokes his head out to breathe, Granny suddenly smells him. She approaches the bathtub. Quick thinking, Xiaoqian tears the wedding dress, seeing Xiao Qing, who notices something amiss causing trouble. Xiaoqian deliberately splashes water on her. This stops her from checking the bathtub. But then Granny asks her to take off the clothes for mending, just as Ning Kaishen pokes his head out to breathe, seeing he's about to be exposed. She takes a deep breath and pushes him back into the water. Then Xiaoqian says she's going to bathe and leave, and dawn is approaching. If she doesn't go out soon, she won't find a living victim. This finally gets Granny to leave, but unexpectedly, Xiao Qing suddenly returns. Xiaoqian takes off her clothes and gets into the bathtub, but at the same time, Ning Aishen sees her completely. Only after Xiao Qing leaves does he emerge from the bathtub. After the danger passes, Xiao Qian urges Ning Kaishen to leave quickly, saying they can talk at the lake pavilion. But as soon as he arrives, she hurries over. She gives him the painting of the woman washing her hair, saying the person in it is her, painted a year ago by her father's request. It was only during the Ghost Festival a few days ago that she had the chance to retrieve it. Xiaoqian tells him, seeing the painting is like seeing me. Ning Kaishen replies, it sounds like we'll never meet again. Now that Xiaoqian is betrothed to the Black Mountain demon, and dawn is approaching, she urges Ning Kaiyan to let her go. After all, humans and ghosts are worlds apart. How could they ever defeat Granny? Then Xiaoqian says harsh words, bluntly telling the poor boy not to dream, asking if he's after her family's money, threatening to have him arrested if he doesn't leave. At this moment, how could Ning Kaishen see that Xiaoqian's words don't reflect her true feelings? He immediately throws away the painting and leaves. But upon returning to Guobei County, he learns from the painting vendor that the woman in the painting died over a year ago. Heartbroken, he suddenly notices the wanted criminal Liu Yidao resembles the bearded man, and assumes he's the murderer. Feeling Xiaoqian is in danger, Ning Kaishen hurries back to Lanruo Temple in the rain, unaware that at this moment, she is using her beauty to lure a victim for the tree demon. To keep Ning Kaishen from being discovered, she takes him to the lake pavilion and learns he came back specifically to warn her about the bearded man. At this moment, both of them Wish dawn would never come. Their past encounters and moments keep replaying in their minds. What is love in this world? That even a mortal man and a resentful ghost fall into it. Afterward, Ning Aishen removes the bell from Xiao Qian's ankle. Of fore training and curiously rings it, unaware that it's her signal to the tree demon. After finding a living victim, Xiao Qian snatches it back and urges him to leave. But Ning Gaishen thinks she's angry and refuses to go. Seeing he won't leave, Xiao Qian tells him to find the bearded man, saying it's dangerous to stay with her. Then she uses magic to knock him out and leaves. But Ning Kaishen believes the bearded man is a murderer. Going to him would mean certain death, so full of doubts. For training, he originally wanted to chase after Xiao Qian to clarify, but runs into her instead, as Ning Kaishen faces danger. Fortunately, Xiao Qian appears in time to stop it. Then Yanchisha, sensing demonic energy, immediately attacks and tries to kill Xiao Qian. But seeing this, Mingai Shen pulls Xu Shen to report it to the authorities. But soon after riding, she vanishes from behind him, arriving alone at the Golbei County Yamen. After beating the drum, he discovers the magistrate here demands payment to handle cases, and the Liu Yidao he mentioned is already imprisoned. They think he's trying to claim the reward, and immediately order 30 lashes. The magistrate, believing it true, orders his men to bring Liu Yidao to the court. At this moment, Yan Qixia arrives in time, revealing he is a constable who, hating corrupt officials, retired from the martial world long ago, and the real Liu Yidao is in prison. To prove himself, Yan Qixia, and to explain to Ning Kaishen that what he killed wasn't human, takes him to the mass graveyard, behind Lanruo Temple. Ning Kaishen, who didn't believe it at first, indeed finds Ni Xiaoqian's grave there, but what he couldn't understand was, he sees a ghost, why didn't she take his life? Besides, he had no value to exploit. Yan Qixia couldn't figure it out either. He only urged him to leave before nightfall. The reason he chose to stay was because the human world is too complicated. Dealing with ghosts and spirits is simpler, black and white. However, Ning Aishen hadn't gone far when Yan Qixia caught up, planning to use him to lure out the female ghost and demon, to eliminate them in the name of justice. Since Ning Kaishen was just a scholar, he gave him a Diamond Sutra for protection. Although Xiao Qian didn't harm him, he was still afraid. Even when she appeared to warn him that Granny knew and urged Ning Kaishen to leave quickly, he didn't dare approach her even half a step. Ning Kaishen asked Xiao Qian if she was a ghost and if she had killed people. Xiao Qian admitted it, saying she was forced. Seeing Ning Kaishen didn't believe she was coerced, Xiao Qian tried to approach to explain, but he used the Diamond Sutra to repel her. He seemed to forget the events at the pavilion. At this moment, Xiao Qian, with tears in her eyes, said that ghosts can be good or bad. Sometimes people in the world are crueler than ghosts. For why she harmed people, it was all because Granny forced her. She came from a noble family, but was killed by villains on the road. Her father temporarily buried her remains under an old tree. But later, he too was harmed by villains. Unexpectedly, the old tree became a demon, controlling her remains to lure men, draining their yang energy to extend its life. And now she's been sold to the Black Mountain Demon. Learning of Xiao Qian's plight, Ning Kaishen was no longer afraid and vowed to save her from Granny, as long as before her marriage. Her ashes were taken to the countryside for burial. She'd have a chance to reincarnate. They originally planned to leave together, but it was already too late. Granny, following the scent, came to kill, sealing the room's exit with her tongue. The Diamond Sutra left by the bearded man had no effect on her. As Granny grabbed Ning Kaishen, Xiaoqian quickly told him to close his mouth, or his yang energy would be drained, and she managed to save him. But how could she stand against a 1,000-year-old demon? Before being taken back, Xiaoqian quickly pushed Ning Kaishen away, telling him to follow the silk ribbon on the ground and not look back. But no matter how he fled, he was still caught by Granny. Fortunately, Yan Qixia appeared in time and saved Ning Kaishen, saying he didn't care if she killed bad people, but killing him was an affront to his honor. Initially at a disadvantage, Yan Qixia summoned his demon-slaying sword, but when he struck Granny, she shed her shell and vanished underground. Then she targeted Ning Kaishen, planning to drain his yang energy to boost her power. At that moment, Yan Qixia raised his demon-slaying sword, cutting off her tongue and severing centuries of her power. But unfortunately, Xiaoqian was taken away by her. To save her and to help her reincarnate, Ning Kaishen knelt and begged Yan Qixia for help to escort Xiaoqian's ashes back to her hometown, giving her a chance to be human again. Moved by this, Yan Qixia recalled his own sense of justice from youth and agreed to help Ning Gaishan. They then went to the mass graveyard and dug up Xiao Qian's ashes, only to find 5 golden pagodas inside. Unable to tell them apart at first, they had to take them all. Fortunately, they reached a lodging before dark. Coincidentally, they encountered a wedding at the inn Yan Qixia didn't expect. This wedding was related to Xiao Qian. After settling in, he summoned the spirits from the pagodas, but found no trace of her memories, pinning their hopes on the last one. Thankfully, she was there. When Xiao Qian appeared again, she immediately thanked Yan Qixia for saving her. Though he looked fierce, he became shy at that moment and slipped away. Reunited, Ning Aishan and Xiao Qian wrote their longing for each other stroke by stroke, all on the painting. 10 miles of calm lake covered in frost. Every inch of black hair mourns fleeting youth, walking alone under the moon, longing to protect each other, offering only love, not immortality. This painting and its words are Xiao Qian's keepsake in this life, though by tomorrow's dusk, she can reincarnate once dawn breaks. They will be parted forever. At this moment, Yan Qixia, with a furrowed brow, suddenly felt something off about the inn's wedding. Sure enough, after casting a spell, he discovered the place was thick with demonic energy, and it was the day of a ghost wedding. Planning to let Xiao Qian and Ning Gaishan leave, the next second she was taken away. Now they had no choice but to storm the underworld, to rescue her before dawn, or she'd be trapped there forever. But the Black Mountain Demon had ghost soldiers guarding. How could they easily reach Xiao Qian? Yan Qixia drew them away, using his demon-slaying sword to send Ning Gaishan to her. But as he rescued Xiao Qian and searched for an exit, he found it had been sealed by the Black Mountain Demon. Meanwhile, Yan Qixia was injured in the fight. The demon even prepared to cast a spell to suck out Yan Qixia and Ning Gaishan's souls. Seeing this, Xiao Qian knelt and begged, pleading with the Black Mountain Demon to spare them. But the demon threatened Xiao Qian to break the golden pagoda, to stay with him forever. As Xiao Qian prepared to break the pagoda, Ning Gaishan, distracted by this, was suddenly having his soul sucked by the demon. Seeing this, Xiao Qian immediately grabbed Yan Qixia's demon-slaying sword. Enduring the burning pain, she stabbed the Black Mountain Demon. But the soul he had taken suddenly rushed out to attack Xiao Qian, and even prepared to kill Ning Gaishan and Yan Qixia. Fortunately, the Diamond Sutra Ning Gaishan used for protection fell onto the Black Mountain Demon, instantly nullifying his powers. Ning Gaishan seized the moment, wielding the sword with both hands, and thrust it into the demon's body. Following a burst of flames, the Black Mountain Demon was reduced to ashes, and the 2 humans and 1 ghost finally returned to the mortal world before dawn. To prevent sunlight from entering the room and causing Xiao Qian to vanish, Ning Gaishan used his body to block the window, letting her return to the golden pagoda. But this departure meant they'd never meet again. No matter how many words they had, at this moment they could only say, "Take care," at the film's end. Ning Gaishan, escorted by Yan Qixia, took Xiao Qian's ashes for burial. The film ends here. Ning Gaishan is a gentle scholar, with his naive and sincere charm. His straightforward and deep affection won people's hearts. His demeanor exudes a simple elegance, his eyes free of any pretense, like a refined and pure scholar, evoking a sense of purity at first glance, though he fears ghosts. Lighting 3 lanterns to travel safely at night. When facing love, he becomes a warrior charging for love, even facing the demon's sharp tongue without flinching, protecting his beloved and rushing forward. Ni Xiaoqian, a woman of pure beauty yet inner turmoil, suffering loneliness after doing evil, bearing the weight of conscience, yet pouring her love onto Ning Gaishan, becoming shy and delicate like a budding flower, her gaze like misty rain, carrying sorrow, her long hair flowing gracefully, her temperament gentle and refined, as if from a fairyland. The film, a Chinese ghost story, with its stunning visuals and poignant tale, has become a cinematic masterpiece, timeless legend. Humans and ghosts are worlds apart. Deep love brings shallow pain. Life is like a long, winding path filled with frost and hardship. Despite countless dangers, one must pursue true love. The world is full of beautiful dreams.